Have you ever needed to block a WordPress user from logging into WordPress without deleting their account? Maybe a team member left your company, but you still want their posts to stay on the site. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to disable login for any user in WordPress. So that may be for temporary purposes or for permanent purposes. So it depends on the situation. So without wasting any of our time, let's quickly jump into the tutorial. So we will be discussing few different parts. We will be following two or three different techniques to disable a user. First, we will be using a plugin technique. Like if I just go to plugins and click on plugins, so we can search for disable user login plugin. All right. So it will be fetching few plugins from the WordPress plugins repository. So we will be using this particular plugin, disable user login. All right. So let's quickly install it. This is the easiest and quickest way to do this. But I will also be showing you few more details with the code. So if you want full control and you don't want to have extra code on your site, you can do that. All right. So we have installed our plugin and activated it. Now it's time to see the users first. So I have two users. One is my admin user. Second is a test user. If I quickly go to the test user and log out, and I can show you by logging into it, so it works. All right, so now we have to simply log out and we have to come back to our admin panel. Okay, so we have to edit this user, and once we edit it, we have to simply enable this checkbox. All right, so update the user. That's how simple it is. Now we have to come back here and we have to log in with the credentials of the user. Boom, account disabled. All right, this way we will be disabling our users by using a plugin. So let's say if we want to disable multiple users, we can simply edit each of the users and we can disable these users. And if we go to the plugin settings, we can change these things. All right, like we can play with the message what we want to show, like this or something like this. So whatever we want to do, that it provides us a placeholder so we can play with it, and that's becoming totally our stuff. All right, so that's how we will be doing user disabling from WordPress website by using a third party plugin. All right, so what's next? Because there are certain situations once your employer or your uh, user or whatever person he or she is, they want not to use a third party plugin, so they want a control. Because once they have a third party plugin, they have to maintain the plugin as well. In that particular case, we come to the code technique. So I will be providing URL of this post in the link, so you can simply go to this particular post and simply you have to copy this code. All right, so I am copying it, and then inside your available files, let's say your current theme, in my case the theme is 2025, you have to simply find the functions.php, and at the very end of that file you have to simply paste that code. All right, and once you have pasted the code, you have to check the instructions, because if you see here, it says we have to replace the user id with our own user. So how to fetch or how to get the ID of that particular user? So we can simply go to our users tab, and the ID of whichever user we want to fetch, we have to simply hover over the user. All right, so if I hover over the user, and you can see in the bottom left corner where my mouse is, you can see it is showing website URL. And if you see user dash edit.php and question mark user underscore ID equals to 2. All right, so that's how we will be fetching the user id. Otherwise we can simply click on the edit button, and if you see, here is the user id. All right, user id equals to 2. That's how we will be fetching user id. Now as we have user id, so we have to simply place that user id here. All right, so it will be using that thing. Also, moreover, if we want to use password, we can also use the user password. So in both ways it will be working. Why? Because we are using or function or method, okay, to check what we want to do. Now we have to simply save it, and we can go back to our, sorry, we can simply refresh it, and we can try to create login our with our user credentials once again. Okay, so your account has been disabled. Why we are seeing this message now? Because we have made changes here. It's working for us, so we can simply verify it by making a change into the message, and we can just go back and simply try to log in again. And if we see, okay, all right, so our code is working. That's how we can use our custom snippets from WP Thrill, because it provides us almost everything. And what next? Let's say we don't want to use our code in functions.php due to some concerns, like we don't want to have, I would say, as themes are, updating with time, so we don't want to play with the code. In that particular case, what next comes into the mind is that we can simply go to the post again, and we can copy this full code. All right. Once we have copied full code, so we have to simply see what it suggests. It suggests us to create us this file and this folder, obviously. All right. So now if we go back to our code and we just save our file to remove all our changes in the functions.php, so we can simply create our folder here. So what we want to uh, name our folder, we can simply copy it, and then we can go to our plugins folder. We can create a new folder, and here the name of the folder we can do like this, and inside it we can create a new file, and we can save it like this. All right, once this is done, we can simply copy the code which it is provided here. All right, so we have to simply paste it, and again we have to provide id of our user, and that's all. We can simply save it, and if we go to our website plugins and refresh it, so our temporary disable user plugin is available. We have to simply activate it. Boom. Now we have to come back here again, and if we just refresh to be certain, and we try to log in again. All right, our account has been disabled. So if we want to make any changes, we can play with it. We can do whatever we want to do. Why we are using a plugin rather than using code inside the functions.php? There may be reasons, because if there are themes which are regularly or constantly being updated, so any changes you made are lost. So the solution for that is obviously to use a child theme. All right. So if child themes are not the option, you want to go your own plugin. This way you can learn how to create your mu plugins or how to create your normal plugins. And for these specific chunks of code, you can simply create your mu plugin or your main plugin file, whatever suits you based on your requirements. So what we have covered in this particular tutorial, we have covered three different ways to disable a user. So let's say if we want to use multiple users, we can, as you know, it is array of IDs. We can simply provide IDs of different users. All right, and we save it. All these users will be disabled. So we have covered three different ways to disable users. First, we used a very simple method to have a third party plugin which is named as disable user login. Then we used a snippet from WP thread to just copy and paste inside our functions.php, and we have to just provide the name of the users which we want to disable. And finally we have a, our own plugin to disable users. All right, I think that's all for the day, and we have covered a lot of ground. And in your case, if you found any issues or conflicts, you can always reach me back with the comment section. So I will be trying to respond each and every comment. And also you can check our guide in details to understand in better ways what each of these lines of code actually does. All right. So see you in the next tutorial for tomorrow. Until then, have a nice day and see you. Bye.